Talk about games now. The MISL 30, prior to that they had 40. There was some fluctuation, but 30 games last year. Right now it looks like there'll be 16 league games in the Pro PASL that you would play. Obviously, then you're going to go 8 home and 8 on the road. Do you see any fluctuation to that? I know there's some exhibitions that you could add on to that as well, and we'll talk about the Final Four weekend in just a bit. But is 16 the number you think you're going to stick to?
Well, 16 for league games,
right.
But we're basically going to play 12 home games and 8 road games. And as it relates in professional sports where people are paying to watch a game, we can make money having home games. So the model with the friendly games where we bring the Stars of Mexico in, a U.S. national team, we're creating a U.S. Open Cup, so that has to come through here. If that team beats us, they continue. If we win, we continue. So we're having a tournament all in the state of California for the club championship. They'll have to come through us to get to the U.S. Cup championship.
Will those 12 home games be enough to turn a profit? I mean, you kind of just hit it on the head that, as a pro sports franchise, you need those home games. You're losing money when you go on the road. You're traveling and whatnot. Where you had 15 home games last year plus some exhibitions, so you're 16, 17, potentially 12. Is that a good number for you?
I'd like more.
Sure.
Quite frankly, in the MISL, it was me and Charlie Krause in Milwaukee that was always lobbying for more games.
Uh-huh.
And my fans constantly say, we want more games, we want more games. So, but anyway, we have the 8 league games. We're going to add 4 friendly games.
Right.
And Stars of Mexico's always did well. We intend to bring them back. Then we had the final weekend championship, which I think that we're going to end up with about 15 games here, 15 home dates in Stockton for the fans to watch. Which, for the first year of a startup league, I think it's about as good as we could hope for.
You mentioned that final weekend, and I just did as well. Right now, scheduled to be March 13th through the 15th. Kevin Milliken mentioned maybe a Final Four type weekend. I know that it's still kind of to be determined exactly how it's going to go. There was some talk maybe of the Canadian champion, the Mexican champion, maybe the host team, which would of course be Stockton, and the winner of the Pro PASL regular season. Would be a pretty big deal, it seems, to have that in Stockton, and maybe tell us if that's still kind of the theory, having those 4 teams. Do you have more than that? How is it all going to play out, do you think?
I'm hoping for 6, where maybe a couple of teams get buys, and then we bring 6, and we've got the weekend set up so the maximum could be 8. It just depends. It just depends where we end up as a league with the number of teams. Canada's pretty set. Mexico's pretty set. They'll each send a representative. And then whatever the MISL morphs into. If they become this regional league and stuff like that, it's my intent to invite their champion to come play out for the championship out here as well.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I know it's probably been a whirlwind couple of months for you. I mean, making the transition from the MISL to the PASL. Certainly people have been following the story and the record about then your lease was up after 3 years. And of course, it should be noted that you didn't start the franchise, that you came in year number 2. So I think had probably some obstacles to overcome for that very reason. But you had the issue of renewing the lease. That went on for a little while, and then certainly then finding dates to play on. Are you satisfied with the dates you found? I know a lot were certainly taken by the Thunder, as they had already filled those up. You look at in February, 3 of the 4 weekends, there's nothing available, a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And in January, there are 2 weekends that are completely taken up. Tell us specifically about that process, getting the lease and then finding the dates, because I can only imagine, you make the big move from the MISL to the Pro PSL. Well, your work was far from done. It's still not, I realize that, but the work probably had only begun once you made that move.
Well, the dates hit me, blindsided me. I had no idea about that. So I just got the hand that I'm dealt. As it relates to the start of the season, our dates look pretty good. We got a lot of weekends. As it gets to January and February, it's going to be Thursday night. It's going to be soccer night in Stockton. Don't know can't change the ECHL schedule. Didn't make it. And it is what it is, and we'll make the best of it. And then come next year, we'll make sure that doesn't happen again.
You had mentioned in a record article back in January of 2007 that when you bought the team, you thought it would be 50% business and 50% sports. And I think a lot of people get into professional sports, especially from an ownership standpoint, because they like it, because it's enjoyable to them. It's certainly you want to make money. You don't want to lose money at the very least. There's no question about that. And probably are not a foreign to hard work, because you knew that was going to be the case, certainly when you took it over. But at the same time, you wanted to be able to enjoy it, wanted to have fun, wanted to watch your team play. I know you spoke to that when you were on this show last time about, hey, I'm an owner of a professional sports team. It's, a pretty neat thing. You said, though, despite the fact you thought it'd be 50-50, it really had been about 90% business, 10% about sports, which is clearly not why you bought the team and not what anybody would want. Where would you put that number at right now as far as business and sports?
90-10.
Still business to sports, huh?
Yeah, it really is. It's a sales and promotion job's what it is. And if we don't sell and we don't promote, nobody shows up to the game. And that's basically what it is. As it relates to on the field, I make next to no decisions. Bernie's entrusted to do that, is doing a good job at it. Despite we didn't have a winning record this last year, we had a very good team. Had we not been decimated by injury, we would have did very well. Our Pumas team's been a smashing success. National champion, Pacific Division champion this last winter. Only reason why we weren't the national champion is we didn't go to the national champion tournament because we can't be in two places at one time. Bernie coached both teams, and the Cougars had a game. So we elected not to go. But we intend to win the national championship this summer, and we intend to win PASL-Pro championships come the winter. We've got a mechanism in place athletically to make the team succeed. And we've realized from our mistakes business-wise not to make those again, to hopefully be able to really succeed at the gate. And we were third in the league in attendance last year. And one of the times I was talking to the players at the end when I was telling them we were making the move, they got real concerned about the MISL because the players all told me, Jim, we have more fans in Stockton than there are any place else that we travel. So they got concerned about the league. So we were actually doing well as it relates to the MISL here in Stockton. The Thunder's doing a great job drawing fans. We don't get where they are. We're above where the Lightning are, and but we're going to just keep growing it. We got a great sport. More kids play soccer than all the other sports combined. So we just got to engage that.
And we'll mention your camps in just a bit as well. Again, 373-1550 to get a hold of the Cougars. We'll mention those camps: Ripon, Livermore, Manteca. One of them is going on right now. Yeah, CaliforniaCougars.net as well. But soon you'll have the Stockton Cougars website up and going as well. You mentioned hiccups before, and having some of those when you start with a pro sports team. I mean, for a while you had to be your own general manager. A couple of general managers left during your tenure as coach. Had to fire a coach, the coach that you inherited, and certainly that happens in professional sports. At one point you said you were working 100 hours a week because, of course, you have MCR engineering as well. Your daytime job. Maybe they're both daytime jobs and
sometimes a nighttime job.
Yeah, I know. Probably they're both daytime and both nighttime. Has it been worth it? I mean, do you look back and say, man, I wish I'd never gotten myself into it? Or how do you look at it because of, those hiccups that have come along the way?
No, I don't look back with regrets at all. You only live once, so you might as well live. I've always been an active person. I used to have, when I was younger, I had 2 jobs. Then I started playing competitive softball, played all around the country. I'm too old, I don't do that anymore. So basically my goal was to integrate the Cougars into the spare time that I normally was trying to be an athlete. And just year one, my first year with the Cougars was a disaster. When I ended up having to get in and be the general manager and eat up all that time, I've got really nice partners at MCR Engineering that allowed me to do it. But now we got the mechanism in place. It's just oversight now, and I'm hands-on, not very much. Just got the business model. Follow the business model, get daily, twice a week updates, and make a few decisions here and there. And it's really not, maybe 10 to 15 hours a week, which is very palatable.